Welcome to the Eddie Conversation Podcast, Episode 1. This is a thing that is happening. Sorry for the fumbles and everything, and you'll be hearing creaks and cracks and potential sounds you don't want to hear. But that's not why we're here today. We are here to talk to a good friend of mine. He traveled a long distance to get on this podcast today. Welcome, Hunter Moranville. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
How you doing today, my friend?
Good, man. I am sore, but I'm hanging in there. So
great. Yeah. Sounds like a typical Hunter day.
Exactly.
All right. So to loosen us up a little bit here, we brought some little treats in from the grocery today. Yeah. So what do you got in front of you here?
I have a
sponsored
by Lime-A-Rita. Ritas. No.
I have a strawberry sparkling margarita.
Mm-hmm.
Now Hunter kind of picked these for us. I'm not really too big on margaritas or canned alcoholic beverages.
I've never actually had these,
cheers.
But cheers. I've looked at them every time that I go to the store, and I've always been really curious.
Why don't you sip? Because I can hear it. All right,
it's pretty good.
Taste. All right, let me just taste it.
It tastes like a margarita on the rocks, minus the rocks.
I don't like it. But
really?
I shall chug it.
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
We have
lower the gain a little bit here. Is this lowering or highering?
I think you're lowering it now.
All right. So we're going to be talking about a multitude of topics today. We're going to start on the big one, and I just want to. You're a man of very distinct taste and opinion. So I just want to talk to you about the controversial topic. Right. It's actually a pretty big topic, and I want to get your thoughts on it because I know you've had thoughts.
Let's hear it.
So let's talk about life.
Oh, life. Oh boy.
What is life? What is life? And so first, let's define what life is from your perspective.
Life is this crazy thing that we're all in. We have no choice but to be part of it. And I don't know. How do you define life? I mean,
so you're saying it's a thing that we're all in?
Sure, I guess. I mean, right? Because we're all living life.
Hunter's taking his sweater off now as he's talking.
We closed the window, and now I'm hot.
I don't know. You can talk about life in terms of purpose, life in terms of the raw biology of why we're here, how do we get here, or what we're doing here.
Well, I don't know any of those answers, but those are also kind of fun to ponder. I don't know. I mean, I guess I can take it to what, my overall take on life is. Life is a big roller coaster. It's a big journey. It's nothing but an experience, and kind of in my opinion, it's all an experiment. It's what's working. What do you like to do? Oh, you don't like doing that?
I got you. So you're talking about, as an individual, the experience of life is an experiment on its own. I thought you were going
yeah. Oh, like super meta?
I thought you were going meta with my theories on life. It's not really.
No.
With we're not actually of this planet, and we were plopped here as a species, and we are humans, an experiment that somebody else is observing above.
Yeah. I like that thought
too. Alien kind of deal.
I like that thought too.
I don't know, it's random.
It is a little random, and it's I like thinking of things like that because we're so involved in our world down here and everything that's going on in our individual lives, our individual worlds, which, you know, of course we're going to be. And then when you stop to think of potential scenarios like that, you kind of stop forgetting, you kind of stop worrying about like all the like stupid stuff, you know.
Does that help?
Yeah, I mean, it helps me. Like for me, I will just kind of remember how big the universe is and how like unimportant,
how insignificant
I don't know, not getting the right piece of bread is, you know.
For me, thinking about the universe doesn't really decrease my thought of my significance for some reason, because it doesn't, I mean, we can't change our situation.
Well, no.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but for me, it just like, it helps me not like worry a lot, because, you know, and you know, like tons of other people too just have like increased like anxiety and just like you're in like your head a lot. And so I stop and I think, oh, like this crap that I'm going through in the grand scheme of things doesn't actually matter, so why am I worried about it, you know?
Yeah.
So it kind of helps me like chill out.
So is that yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Life,
it's cool.
Is that how do you approach life normally? Well, I've learned
to look at the positive in things and be a happy individual. Even in the worst situations, I do my absolute best to look at the positive, because why be negative, you know? We're only here for so long, dude. You gotta be happy. You gotta be a positive influence on other people.
Let's talk about that.
Gotta enjoy your life.
So I like the positive approach. I live similarly to whatnot, but I do want to segue into our next topic, which is positivity in a way of when I'm just curious, like, when are you the happiest? What makes Hunter, for people that don't know who you are, like, what
am I crazy? My craziness?
When, like, think back to the happiest moments in your life. Like, what brings you the most joy?
I'm definitely the happiest when I am busy and being challenged. You know, when I'm going to the gym, when I'm running 5-6 miles, when I'm like, you know, working 12-hour days, when I'm like struggling to find work, you know.
That's when you're happiest.
Well, it's like, yeah, those times suck, but then, you know, I realize, hey, like, you know, like, there's something about the challenge that I kind of enjoy, you know? Like, I'd much rather be going through those challenges than to just be sitting, at home doing nothing. Because, you know, I've lived that life of just being like a, you know, complacent, or I don't know if that's the right word, but just like a body that like doesn't move, doesn't do anything, and like,
yeah, I don't know what the word is for that, but I feel you.
Yeah, you know, just like being stagnant.
I'm thinking sedentary, but is that not a word? Sedentary lifestyle.
Yeah, sedentary lifestyle, just waiting for things to happen. And you know, when I lived that life, it, you know, I was at my like worst. You know, I was like depressed and stuff, like going through like all that, and like that was never like, you know, a good like life to live. And so I feel like just going through that like challenge and being faced, of course, with adversity, you're gonna push yourself past what you're capable of, and that's ultimately what makes me really happy when I like do something that I'm like, hey, you know, a year ago I never like would have thought that I would have been able to do this, or like a week ago I didn't think I'd be able to do this, but here I am doing this, and I just get happy from that.
Yeah.
I get
so
joy.
Can you be, what's a specific time that comes to mind right now on the spot that
well, for me, the biggest thing is always like weight loss, because I've always struggled with weight, and I've had a crazy like yo-yoing weight loss journey. Like I've lost 50 pounds, I've gained back 50 pounds, I've lost like 80 pounds, I've gained back 80 pounds, and now I've lost 95-ish pounds. But, you know, like I'm still, you know, going down on the like losing weight track. So
Gotcha. Versus the slingshot or the
right.
Yeah.
So that's probably the most recent thing. Well, not the most recent thing, but that's just like the first thing that comes to mind for me because it's so like prevalent in my life. You know, that's always like a constant battle thing, and like so many people can go through it. It's such a relatable.
So the tough thing about weight loss that I kind of have to assume is it's not an all at once kind of moment to where you're like, oh no, I lost 90 pounds last night and
No,
celebrating. Like it's a gradual thing. So how do you find a specific moment in there, or is it the whole looking back on the journey that makes you the happiest, or is there a specific moment within that makes you feel happy, or what's the...
I think it's the looking back, and it's those little moments where you realize you're like making progress, you know. Maybe you're lifting more than you were like a couple weeks ago, or your like pants are fitting better than a couple weeks ago. Excuse me. Or for me, you know, I'm discovering new veins in like my forearm, you know, because for me, you know, I never had like forearm veins, and now like I know it's a weird thing, but
that's the new thing of the day. Yeah. Great. Good.
Yeah. Sorry, does that answer your question, or am I just rambling here?
No, you're good.
Okay.
All right. Because, I don't know. Talk about me for a second.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. When I think about my happiest moment specifically, let's say, I guess a way we can also look at the question is when you're feeling down, what are things you can do that make you happy almost regardless of the situation? For me, because I had time to prep ahead for this, but I always, like, I'm a big fan of listening to Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Always makes me happy, and it just puts me in a good, even like the sad happy, like, you know, the sad happy stuff. You're like, oh, this
100%.
feels good, but I'm still sad, but
Bummed.
I'm feeling better.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a big fan of sugar, so candy, hot chocolate, ice cream if it's bad enough. I'll get some ice cream. Marvel movies, I know that those are like always big events that I look forward to, and when I'm sitting in that theater for a Marvel movie, because I guess I've been watching them for so long, it brings me back to like the whole kid experience-ish, even though I wasn't a kid when they were starting, but regardless.
Right, it's like that feeling of like nostalgia.
Yeah, like it helps. And then number one, which is what keeps me going, is being on set. I always find that I'm happiest. I like, especially if it's like people that I like to work with and everybody's communicating and it's a good environment, that I'm just like, love being here. We're getting it done. We're collaborating.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm just in my zone, happy.
Yeah.
That's like the beauty that I'm continually chasing.
No, yeah, I'm definitely in the same boat. I definitely feel, you know, very happy on set, and even on like the worst set days, you know, it's still better than non-set days.
You can get closer to the mic here. So the interesting thing with the podcast, as we're still new to this, is Hunter and I chat on occasion, frequently.
Every day, pretty much.
And this environment forces us to like look each other in the eye a lot. Like,
very
I'm not used
close.
to looking at Hunter like this, but like it's cool. It's cool. It's a good excuse to connect.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, but anyway, you were gonna say
I have
that.
to do this more often. What was I saying? Yeah. Well, just about how like on set, you know, I feel happiest. You know, because ultimately that's, you know, what we're here for. That's what we're living here for, you know. we're out here to be on set. When you're on set, it feels good.
Yes. Talk to us about keepgoingapparel.com.
So, keepgoingapparel.com. Again, that's keepgoingapparel.com.
Yeah.
That's my website for my brand that I've started through a passion of not giving up and being a hard ass.
So it's not just a brand, it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
That's what I've heard.
It's a lifestyle, it's a mindset. It's me, basically, in a nutshell. So essentially, I back when I had kind of like decided to stop living my life so like laissez-faire, and like actually taking control of things, I was faced with a lot of like adversity, a lot of just like general like tough times, and it was hard, because I dropped out of college and I decided I wanted to do some video stuff. I wanted to see if I can actually do this stuff as like a career. And I faced just a lot of like self-doubt and just like outside forces and everything. And the one thing I always told myself was just keep going. You're going to get through all this stuff that's happening right now. Excuse me.
I'm just getting a little teary-eyed over here.
A little bit. No, because, well, for me, it's very, like, rooted into me. And, like, I mean, like, sometimes I do kind of get, like, emotional because it's, like, it means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, I would just tell myself, like, keep going. And that's really just how it all started. And then I kind of, like, started sharing that with other people. They like it. And I was like, cool, I like making other people feel good, and I like making shirts and stuff, and so I started putting it on shirts, and it's right now it's really just kind of like an outlet for creativity and a way for me to bring other people up along with me, and hopefully inspire and motivate other people.
So yeah, everybody, make sure you go check out keepgoingapparel.com. Hunter's always developing new designs and experimenting with the brand and putting out cool side content to, I guess, keep himself going in the meantime too. Yeah. Well, keeping others and challenging our stuffs.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to transition into your past a little bit and like a little bit of who you are, because everybody at home is really kind of hoping to learn more about Hunter for sure.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I got a lot of requests to get you on this podcast.
Oh, I feel special. This podcast we created today.
But I guess let me ask you a question first to make sure this is a proper trail to go down. But do you consider yourself an inventor? Like, how do you...
Inventor.
Yeah, like, do you like kind of taking stuff and making new things out of stuff? Or, like growing up as a kid, did you take things...
And make things?
Yeah.
Or
how do you... What's your gut reaction to that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'd say as a kid, I was pretty inventive. I was always that kid who was, like, building stuff. When I was a little, like, I would build, like, logos. I'd build Legos. And I'd make, like, just crazy things, I'd build whatever I could. I used to build, like, prop guns and stuff out of, like, cardboard. I got, like, really into that. I don't know if anybody knows the video game Halo.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I loved Halo as a kid, dude. I grew up on it. But I had built an entire Hunter costume out of cardboard that took me like months to make.
Yeah. That was like a Halo suit, like a the Master Chief kind of look.
Yeah, well, it was Hunter, like the Hunters, and I didn't choose it just because it was the same name as me, though that does play a part. But it was this really big, heavy, armored alien thing that had like this shield and these crazy like looking spikes coming out the back and this like laser cannon.
Okay.
And it was just like super unique. You know, you like never saw it, and every time you saw it, you were like, "Oh shit,
yeah,
it's a Hunter." And so,
gotcha.
you know, and I just like that uniqueness and stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna build that. So I built it out of cardboard. It took me a couple months, and then I wore it to, you know, go trick or treating and stuff, and had a good time. I was made fun of a little bit, but who isn't, you know, when they're breaking the norm and everything.
Yeah, I like to think about it as being vulnerable with sharing pieces of who we are, and people aren't necessarily comfortable with themselves showing their vulnerableness, so they like to kind of criticize others for coming out of their shell, which is kind of a bummer.
It's crazy, man. We're not all the same, you know, and we can't pretend that we are. That's why, I don't know. I like being unique, you know. That's why I wear...
Being yourself.
Yeah, that's why I always wear my own shirts.
I don't know if you recall, but in 2012, you posted an image of one of your inventions.
You pull it out the Facebook. Yeah, it's okay, show me.
I'm going to describe it to you, see if you recall it.
I think I know exactly what this is.
So you have 2 solo cups.
I know exactly what this is. Yeah.
With the toilet paper roll kind of connecting them. You have a slit in the toilet paper roll, and you have a phone stuck into that slit. It's kind of like your own makeshift, some sort of like... I don't know what the purpose really was for.
It was meant to like amplify the phone speaker volume. And
that's what it was for.
I have to admit, that wasn't an original idea. I had seen it somewhere or like a similar idea, and I was like, well, that's kind of cool. So then I tried it, and I was like, wow, this actually like works.
So it worked.
It worked, yeah. It was like kind of surprising, because like I'm not trained. I don't know how to explain this, but it's just something about having, you know, like those like open spaces and everything. It directs the
I don't know
the music and everything like directly towards you.
Yeah, because I mean I've watched I watched Shark Tank and stuff, and like there's those little inventions that as long as you like
you cup
cup the speaker, you can amplify, like it plays a lot better. So I'm assuming it's an extrapolation of that, or it's a little bit
same idea,
but it looks super jank.
So jank. And that's like how I describe 80% of my life. It's janky, but it works. We just duct tape everything.
Yeah.
True engineers.
How you feeling?
I feel great, dude. I'm really liking this Limerita. We should do this more often.
Nice. What's your I was having this conversation the other day, and I'm curious as to if you feel like you have a superpower.
So that's actually kind of funny. When I was little, I used to think I had a superpower. So you know when you get in the shower and like water like runs down your arms, and you like hold out your arm, it's kind of like you're shooting water. I was like, dude, this is like so cool. It's almost like I'm like Aquaman or something. Like I'm like shooting water. I was like, I don't think anyone else can do this. But I was like 5 or 6, and I didn't realize that it was like a normal thing.
But now that you're not, I never went through that experience myself, but it sounds cool.
It was cool in the moment. Now I'm like, that's just kind of weird.
It's fine. It's fine.
I mean, it's funny, I think.
But so now that you're in the adult phase of your life, do you feel like you have a superpower?
I think my biggest superpower
that separates you.
I think my biggest superpower, if you want to call it a superpower, is just my mindset that I have. You know, I feel like I have a pretty strong, like, outlook just on life in general, and I just kind of have figured out what works for me, and I think that's just a really powerful thing to have, and it's hard to like share with other people, but I just kind of. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, because like my superpower that I feel like I have, I don't know if you would agree with it, but I feel like because I kind of think about how other people react to stuff and then how I react to stuff. And I'm like, I feel like my power is almost like just not getting stressed.
Yeah,
Like I feel like I've really built up my tolerance on stress, and I'll get calls, people stress all the time, and I'm like, relax,
chill.
it's fine. This is the answer. All right, cool. And but like even stuff in my life, which I feel like is a weakness too sometimes. Let's say like I'll get a call and they'll be like, yeah, so and so passed away, and blah blah blah, and I'm like, we can handle this. Like there's no there's no emotion that comes in. So then which is weird.
Well, I feel like you just have a very analytical brain. You know, you just process like facts as they happen.
I just wish I had more emotion. But at the same time, it could be utilized as a superpower in terms of like on set when all that stuff is happening, being able to hone in and not let it get to you is kind of like a big part of why I feel like I'm good at my job. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just feel like I never get stressed.
Yeah, no, managing stress is like really is like a superpower, you know, because like stress just affects you in so many ways. So if you can like figure out how to do that, then you're already ahead of the curve. So Eddie,
well, bam.
Modern day superhero.
So with that being shared, do you have anything specific like that you feel is a thing for you, or that...
No, I mean, I kind of feel the same. You know, I mean, yeah, like
I can tell you what I think your power. Well, what another power you have is.
I mean, tell me. Eating
so
food.
My thought, no, not anybody could eat food. I feel like, I don't know, just probably because I don't have it, is the ability to appreciate food.
I knew it was your food related.
Because like, I'm all about efficiency, and like, I'm not here to waste time with eating,
right,
or cooking. And you're over here like making stuff that tastes good and that you care about and that like cleanses your palate. Like, you gotta appreciate it.
Quality of life.
But I'm like, I don't even know what that feels like. Like, I just eat food. Yeah. And then I digest it. But you actually take the time to absorb it into your tongue and process what kind of flavors you're getting, which I don't feel like I get. So it feels like you got some sort of thing going on there.
Yeah, I mean, I just, you know, I enjoy food, and I like good food and everything, you know. It's like,
but do you feel like you're any better at the appreciation of it, or?
I mean, I think so. Well, because, you know, I used to have a very bland meal palate, I guess you could say.
How did you expand it? What was the?
I started okay, so the reason why I was eating such bland, it was when I like first started like trying to like lose weight and like dieting and stuff. I didn't understand that you could eat like good food and like be healthy at the same time. So you know, I would just eat like straight chicken, just raw vegetables, and it was terrible.
Yeah. It
was so bad.
And the sense of flavor,
yeah, it was like just painful to eat, but I like forced myself to do it.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. And then I started to realize like, oh hey, excuse me, if I just add like a little bit of salt to this, or like a little spices, you know, here's some teriyaki, you know, shake things up. In the grand scheme of things, like, it's not gonna matter, you know. It's like you can't like, at least for like me back then, I was sacrificing my short-term happiness for my long-term goals. But
right,
what I've learned to do now, well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, best of both worlds, you know. Yeah, I'm still like sacrificing like short-term happiness, but I'm doing it in a more like calculated way, you know. Like, I could eat plain chicken, or I could just like salt and pepper the chicken. It's gonna taste so much better, you know. Even just doing like that, it's gonna taste amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so that kind of jump-started your discovery of like, oh, flavor is possible.
Yeah, flavor is possible, and why not? I mean,
right.
Because again, for me, life is all about experiences, and food is such a big experience of life.
Everybody's got to eat.
We have to eat. So
unfortunately, on my part.
Yeah, yeah.
I prefer we didn't.
Eddie. So yeah, and yeah, I prefer it to be pleasurable.
All right, so moving on to the next random topic. In 2011,
excited.
You had a post.
Okay.
And I'm curious to dig a little bit into this lifestyle a little bit more. But
tell me.
It says, mobbing up the skate park on my unicycle. So.
Oh, that's hilarious, dude. I can't believe I posted that. But I'm kind of glad I did.
Right. So Hunter, it seems like unicycle was a big part of your life for a while. Tell us about.
It was.
Tell us about what I want to hear more about was the experience of living that lifestyle, and kind of assumptions people made about the stereotype of a unicycler versus like what the reality was. So maybe there are things that are true about a unicycler and there are things that aren't true about a unicycler. If you could kind of shed some light on that community based on your experience. I don't know if you had any other friends that kind of did that as well or anything.
So I was pretty much the only person who had like kept with it. I had friends that had for sure like tried to like learn it and stuff alongside me, but I was definitely the only one who like committed to it and like actually like trying to like get like pretty good at it. And I think what kind of drove me to it the most was again just kind of the uniqueness of it. It was like not many people were doing it, and it was just like kind of cool.
Yeah.
And of course like it's hard. Like it takes like days, like weeks to like get it down and like get good at it. And I rode for a couple of years, like pretty much every day, just like practicing because I liked it so much.
When did you first, because the post was in 2011,
right?
When did you initially latch on?
It's hard for me to pinpoint, but it was probably like 2010 maybe, 2009, 2010 possibly, somewhere around there.
Okay.
So yeah, I remember the exact moment I decided I wanted to learn a unicycle.
So tell us about that specific moment.
So I was sitting at home and it was like 10 o'clock at night, and I was browsing YouTube, just as, like a little kid and everything. And I like came across like unicycle videos, and I was like, whoa, this is like really cool. And I was like, wait, I have a unicycle in my garage. Cause like a couple years like prior, I was at my grandparents' house, and they just randomly had a unicycle.
Okay.
And they were like, yeah, just, like take it. And I was like, shoot, okay, yeah, I'm going to take it. So
shoot, all right, Grandma.
Yeah, and I was like, I'll do it. So I took it, and then it sat in our garage for a couple of years, and then I just remembered that we had it. So I went and I dug it out. I pumped up the tire, and then I was like, I'm going to learn how to do this thing. So then I started that night, and I tried, and I sucked, and I fell the entire night, because I didn't know what I was doing. And then the next morning, first thing in the morning, I take it outside, and I'm like, and I'm trying, and that entire week I'm outside for like 5 hours every single day, just like trying to like ride this thing. And then, eventually like I started making progress. I'd get like 2 sidewalk blocks, like how the sidewalk's kind of like partitioned and everything. I'd get like 2 blocks, then I'd get like 4 blocks, then I'd get like 6 blocks. And I remember when I like rode the entire length of my front yard, I was like losing my mind.
You're like, oh my god.
I was like, oh my god, I'm doing it. But
yeah.
It was kind of cool too, because at that time, you know, I had convinced some of my friends to kind of try it with me, and so we were all competing, and you know, I'm kind of naturally like competitive, so I was like, I got to be better. So that also kind of like helped push me and everything. But you know, like for me, when I set my mind to something, I'm like, I'm gonna do this thing, you know, and I'd set my mind on unicycling, and so I didn't stop trying it until I got like really good at it. And then that escalated into like I went to the skate park and I would like grind rails on my unicycle, which was like, it's pretty cool. And I still have some like videos of it and everything. And I would go like off-roading type stuff. I still have some videos of that too. But yeah, I mean, I just tried being as good as I could be on it. And it was fun for me because it was a challenge, and it got me outside, it got me active, and I just like
So
it.
what did you learn about how people perceived you when they found out you were a unicycler? What were some... Can you talk about the stereotypes that people associated once they found out?
Well, they just... they you know, it's such a unique thing and not a lot of people do it. You're kind of perceived as like an outcast, but like for me back then, I already kind of felt like an outcast. So I was like whatever, I don't care. So you know, people just kind of view it differently. They're like, oh, this is like really weird. And you know, I got a lot of really weird looks, and I got a lot of like comments and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And
like what? I want to hear some.
Right. So one thing that people, you know, think about the most is, oh, that must really hurt.
Oh, right.
Right. You know, because it's like you're sitting
it's
on the
just
seat.
It's just like a bicycle, though. But yeah.
Right. Yeah. And people like just don't understand that. And yeah, like when you're first starting out, you know, you're gonna like kind of hurt yourself and everything. But as you like get used to it, it's really, yeah, it's just like a bicycle seat, really, you know. So, yeah, a lot of people just assume that you're constantly sitting like and like just assaulting your crotch basically, which like is not the case at all.
Okay.
And you know, I got that a lot too, because I would do like jumps and stuff, and I would jump off really high like drops and stuff, and people would just be like, ooh, and I'd be like, I'm okay.
Hey, your ball's good, bro.
Yeah, and then,
like that kind of stuff, and you're
right,
like,
yeah.
No, yeah, it's fine.
I'm like, I'm chill, dude. Like, I'm not like, come on, there's technique to this. But
it's okay.
But yeah, and then of course people associate you with clowns, and you know, and I would actually like do like kind of like event type things where I'd be like a clown. I did a lot of things like, well, I did some things for like school where I would like dress up as a clown. I did a talent show. I remember this. Okay, oh my god, yes. I did a talent show, and I don't remember what grade. Maybe it was like 7th grade or something.
Oh no!
I rode my unicycle. Yeah.
Did you juggle and stuff too?
I juggled, of course. Yeah, that was the other thing. Yeah. I had learned how to juggle at the time, and I could do it while I was riding my unicycle. So, yeah, so I did the talent show, kicked ass. I did all these like really weird tricks, and everyone was like, "Wow!" They weren't expecting it from me. I can tell you what.
Yeah, that's cool.
No, yeah, it was kind of fun. So yeah.
Great.
Yeah, and then it was always fun, like taking it to the skate park too, you know, because who sees a unicycle at the skate park? And then it was kind of fun for me as well, because it was a conversation starter and just like a community thing, because people would like try riding it, and a lot of the people could not ride it at all, but there was like a couple people that could ride it, and they were like pretty good at it, and I was like, wow, that's really cool, man. You don't know who's capable of what. And like for me, it's kind of like an eye-opener of everybody's like capable of
some credibility thing. Yeah,
right.
Like, oh, you're cooler now because you can handle this. It's always kind of frustrating. there's always those people that are just good at everything, and it's just so frustrating. I remember like in track and field, there was always those dudes that were like, yeah, let me just try this pole vaulting event, and then they just nail it the first time. I'm like, all right, well,
right.
Let me just retire.
Yeah. Those are
but
some lucky people, cool people.
Too cool. All right. Well, I mean, that's everything that I had planned for this this episode of the podcast.
Oh, did you? What time are we at? How long have we been doing this?
We're at 40 minutes currently, which isn't too shabby.
It's pretty good.
So if you just want to tell everybody at home, kind of, I guess, like, we'll do the hot wings. What's the hot ones thing?
Oh,
like, you just kind of tell everybody what you're up to right now, and we'll end on that.
Well, currently I am.
Make sure you take a swig of your limerita first. Make sure you're all set.
Oh, I will. Don't you worry.
Where are you with? Are you further down, or how did we do?
I'm almost done.
I'm like right here.
Oh wow.
I don't know how you. I guess my swigs have been smaller.
Yeah, I've been downing this thing. I actually really like it. But anyways, what I'm up to. I'm always busy with my Keep Going brand and everything, trying to always put content out and just make cool stuff.
So what's the latest content you've been working on?
So currently I'm working on the Tatunga series. My awesome, brilliant, creative friend, Taylor, who I've known since like first grade, is just like an awesome person. She has all these super killer drawings, and like for years I've been wanting to put them on shirts, and then one day I was just like, I'm just taking this and putting on a shirt, and then I'm just gonna see what she says. and so I did, and she's like super down for it, and so I'm working on all that right now, and I'm basically just digitizing all her killer drawings, and putting those on shirts, trying to get them out to the world and for people to see.
So is that stuff people can find right now, or?
Yeah. There's 2 out in the series. Hopefully it's gonna be a 4 shirt series, but 2 of them are up right now on the website. Feel free to check it out and just give her some love, of course, because she's the one who made them. So freaking awesome. But so yeah, I've been working on that and just being healthy and trying to find work out here and everything. Stay busy, stay creative. That's what I'm up to.
All right, where can people find you on the socials, Hunter?
Find me on Instagram at Hunter Moranville. That's Hunter_Moranville. You can also find me on my website, huntermoranville.com. Basically, just Google my name, see what kind of nonsense pops up, and most likely that's me. But yeah, that's
all right. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me, dude. This was fun.
All right, I'll have to do this again sometime soon.
Tomorrow.
Peace.